All right, all right. We're going to retry this. We are going to retry this. We're back with it like we never left, but we definitely did. So, look, all right, we were talking about DK Metcalf. We'll get back right back into him. So, look, I would love to get DK Metcalf on this team. The two people I would love to get on this team are going to be right here. They're going to be right here in this bottom corner because I would love to get A.J. Brown on this team and I would love to get DK Metcalf on this team. Like I said earlier, we are going to have to pay. At some point, we're going to have to pay. You might as well bite the bullet now. Get into that. You know, get yourself somebody that you know what you're going to get out of him. We've gone too long just trying to hit on first-round picks, and it just doesn't work. It just does not work, so we need to solidify this position. I'm not trying to keep on going after wide receivers every year. What's going on? What's going on, Azar? What's going on? Yeah, my bad about that earlier. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. My internet, I don't know, man. You can pay. It doesn't matter how much you pay. I feel like I've went up in price in internets, and it just doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to mess with you. But yeah, I appreciate you coming through, man. I appreciate you sliding through. Just give me a second to reshare all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, feel free to share as well. Try to make sure I'm good. Yeah, we're good. All right, awesome. Awesome. So I'll repeat it for anybody that may have not heard it when I said it earlier, but N'Keal Harry is obviously, you know, now available for the Patriots. I am not trying to run down that path at all. That is not something I'm trying to do. So if you see Eagles fans start saying that, let's just put a kebab on that like from the beginning because we do not need, like I said earlier, we do not need anybody else's issues. We don't need anybody else's problems. The Eagles have to start looking forward. We have to start looking at receivers, cornerbacks, whatever it may be, defensive line. I don't care if it's your water boy. We have to get guys that are going to grow with this team. That's the only way we're going to see improvement from this team is if we find people that can grow with us. What's going on, Black Line? What's going on? Yeah, you know, we had to restart it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just trying to make sure I could get all this back out. Now, we'll talk about Trent McDuffie as well, I guess. I mean, not even just Trent McDuffie. So, the Eagles also had Marcus Jones come to Philadelphia, and we hosted like a little workout for him. Marcus Jones is a 5'8" cornerback from Houston. So, he had like 6 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. He had like 6 interceptions last year, which is nothing to, you know, scoff at or anything. Obviously, it's in Houston. But, I mean, 5'8", and then you look at Trent McDuffie. Bro, come on. Like, we cannot keep looking at these. It is no disrespect to none of these guys. I'm not trying to call them small. I'm sure, you know, they tough. I'm sure they're very tough. But, look, we are looking at getting a wide receiver in the first round that are 6'5", 6'3", right? There's so many big guys coming into this league and already in this league at the wide receiver position. I'm not trying to get somebody that's 5'9", 5'10", 5'8", 5'11". I just, you know, maybe Marcus Jones is somebody that they're eyeing just as like a late round prospect that can possibly, you know what I'm saying, boost or boost, I should say, their special teams, possibly. That's what they're thinking. But we need big dogs. That's what we need. We need big guys that are just going to come out here and eat. DK for one of our first round. Malcolm, I would do it. Malcolm. Would I prefer A.J. Brown or DK? That's a tough one. I would probably say DK because they're probably going to be around the same price as far as like draft picks and everything. So I would probably say DK. But I wouldn't mind either of them, man. I really would not mind either of them. You bring any one of them down. I'm down for it. I'm definitely down for it. What's going on, Bryce? What's going on? Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati is a great fit. I like Kobe Bryant. Didn't he just win like the best cornerback in the country award last year or something like that? I feel like that's not really talked about enough. But yeah, Kobe Bryant, Cincinnati is like, when's the last time we've talked about damn near their whole starting 11? Like, we've talked about almost every play. They have a wide receiver. Obviously their quarterback is highly touted. You know, the cornerback, now you got 2 of them. You got Kobe and you got Sauce Gardner. So there's so many kids from Cincinnati that are just getting so much shine. And good for them. I ain't hating. Trust me, I ain't hating on it. I'm glad they are. They definitely deserve it. I do like A.J. Brown, though. I like A.J. Brown. I don't mind either one of them. I don't mind either one of them. We still need a lanky 6'2", 6'3" quarterback. I would love a cornerback that's big. That's why I like Kyer Elam over some of these guys. And I like, obviously, Derek Stingley's kind of the prototypical guy. Like, if we could get Derek Stingley, you know, I'll be jumping through hoops. I don't know if it'll work out, but on paper, that's like the best case scenario for us, right? But then Sauce Gardner is a close, you know, second or third, depending on how you want it. I don't know. I like Sauce Gardner. It's just he had a really great college career. I don't know what it is I don't like about him. Maybe it's just because he's too like skinny for me. Like, I don't know. I feel like he'll get bullied in the run game. I could be 100% wrong about that. I like Sauce, and he is in like the top 3 to 4 discussion for me. But if it was for me, realistically, I'm probably looking, not in no order. I'm looking Sauce, I'm looking Stingley, I'm looking Kyer Elam, and I'm looking Booth. Like, those are probably my 4 guys. But it seems like the Eagles like Trent McDuffie. I don't know what we're thinking. Herbert says, I'd rather sign Gilmore at cornerback and draft a wide receiver in the draft. We're trying to atone for mistakes, not draft him. I agree, Herbert. That's, I mean, I almost agree. You know, look, I don't mind us getting a wide receiver in the draft. I really don't, but it depends on where you get him. I think you can do both. I think you can sign Gilmore. I think you can draft a wide receiver, and I think you can still get a good cornerback in this draft. And I think that if you go in the first 2 rounds, it's not reaching in any sense of the word. Like, if you use 2 of your draft picks, right? Because we're all assuming that he's probably going to try and trade one of them. If you use 2 of your 3 draft picks and you get yourself a defensive lineman and a cornerback, I think that's a win. I think that's a major win, right? I mean, we all want a linebacker, but I think that it's very deep this year at the linebacking position in this draft. So I think that that's a win. Shout out to everybody that found their way to this live. I apologize for the technical difficulties on the last one, but it is what it is. We're going to blow this draft. Bryce, I mean, bro, can we have a little bit of faith? Can we have a little bit of faith? Malcolm says we need to look at Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State. He's tough on every level, but he's not talked about enough. I like Kenneth Walker. I like a lot of these running backs. I don't want to say all of them. I like a lot of these running backs. There's probably like, I would say off the top of my head, like 4 or 5 guys that I realistically like. You know what I'm saying? Kenneth Walker, is probably atop that list. I won't say probably, he is atop that list, but we'll see. I don't know if where Kenneth Walker gets drafted, because he's probably going to be either of, you know, late first round, somewhere in that second round. That's where I'm realistically seeing him go. Probably like mid round, something like that. Kind of like where Miles Sanders went. I'm seeing something like that, like a middle of the round team taking a chance on him. But after that, I think that it's very, very similar in what you will get out of the running backs in this draft. So I'm not against getting a running back in this draft either. Trust me, I am not against that either. I'd like to get Julio and still draft a wide receiver in the draft. I wouldn't mind Julio as well. What's going on, Kev? He says, I'm good on Julio, can't stay healthy. It's like getting D-Jax again. I wouldn't say that. He had like 2 unhealthy years. Before that, he played all 16 games like every single year. So, I mean, you know, we can't, I feel like we get a little trigger happy with that word injury prone. I think we get a little trigger happy with that term can't stay healthy. I mean, nobody's healthy. This is the NFL. These are grown men smacking the life out of each other. You know what I'm saying? Every 20 seconds. Nobody's healthy. But I think Julio Jones could add something to this team. And if you're looking for a veteran, who better? I mean, realistically. And it depends on the price, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, Kev, let's, you know, shout out to Kev. That's my boy. But, you know, I'm not going to say let's throw $13, $14 million at him. So if that's the case, then obviously I'm not with that. But I think in the right scenario, he might be the perfect person that come to Philly, to be honest. What's going on, Ryan Rowe? What's going on? Be more careful. What's going on? How many times have we actually drafted the dudes were the same or high on? I'm sure it's happened more than we... Because, I mean, we didn't really say much about Devontae Smith last year. So, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Maybe it's a smoke screen. I wouldn't be mad at that. I only say that because of the players they're targeting. What did you say, my bad? Oh, no, I feel you. we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Like people are kind of alluding to right now, it might be just a smokescreen. It might just be our coaches and our people leaking stuff to the media to try, and it might be these guys' agents, right? It might be these guys' agents trying to leak stuff to get their players' stock a little bit up. But we'll see. Got James Cook for that. I like James Cook. I'm not mad. Typos. Did I put a typo? Now you got me thinking I put typos. Now we good. Now we good. We good. Howie might end up trading up, trading down, trading players, and some more stuff before it's said and done. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of a shift. I thought that by now the Eagles would have tried to, especially now that kind of all the dust has settled as far as quarterbacks go. You start getting those like needy teams that maybe if you wanted to be a quarterback needy team, the Eagles had that decision. I don't know. I'm surprised we're so quiet right now, if I'm being honest. Trent McDuffie is like a C- player. Only receivers I would want in the draft is Traylon Burks, dude from Wentz College. Can't remember his name. 6'4", dude with speed. Chris Olave. About it for me. I wouldn't mind Garrett Wilson. You're thinking about Christian Watson, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I would take Christian Watson too, because he's slotted to go in like either second or third round. So if he drops to like the third, that would be a steal for me. But yeah, Chris Olave I would like. Garrett Wilson I would like. I don't really know if I really like Traylon Burks. He's just too slow for me. I feel like he's too niche. I want all around receivers. I want all around talent. I don't want to just say you do this, you do that, because in the end of the defenses are gonna know he does this, he does that. Trent McDuffie, honestly, Trent McDuffie is good, man. I mean, he is. He's played very well. He's put good tape out there. You know what I'm saying? So I get like a technician looking at him and being like, wow, he's really good. You know what I'm saying? But the blind eye looks, or like the regular Joes, we look at it and we're just kind of like, I mean, bro, he's got very short arms, and that's not no knock on him. So it is what it is. What ideal defensive end do you think will fit our scheme? As far as the draft goes, honestly, I don't think our scheme. I would say Trayvon Walker, because he's very, very fluid in what he can do. The man can stand up and rush if he needs to. He can obviously put his hand in the dirt as an outside defensive end, but he can also be an interior defensive lineman. So I think he can do a little bit of everything, and that's what we're looking for. And I think that's why somebody like a Jordan Davis might be a little bit behind somebody like a Devontae Wyatt to them, because he can do a little bit more of everything. But look, anybody along that Georgia defensive line, I'm down for right now. Look, obviously Kayvon and Aiden, if you can get either of them, it doesn't matter what they fit. You will make them fit. But I think Jermaine Johnson, I think, would fit. I think any of these guys honestly would fit, because it's really not about fitting when it comes to our defensive line. It's just about being able to get out there and make it happen. Because the only thing with Hassan Reddick that I compare to a lot of these draftees now is, do you have the versatility to move around the line? Do you have the versatility to stand up if need be? Maybe do some pass coverage every now and then. So I think anybody that can kind of check those boxes will be good for the Philadelphia Eagles. He has bad knees. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. You said, why get Julio, who can't stay healthy? We need a player, not a name. I think he still would be very productive for him. Saying he can't stay healthy because he had 2 seasons that he couldn't stay. I mean, it happens. It happens. I don't get save a pick for 23. We can't afford to hedge our bets. We have 3 picks. Use all 3. Go all in. We can get 3 impact players for years to come. I agree with you. 100%. The only issue with that is that in 4 years you're gonna have to pay 3 guys. If everything works out, premium contracts. So you're gonna be nervous about losing guys. But I agree, especially with where we are right now. The Philadelphia Eagles don't necessarily have cornerstones of their franchise. Like, we can maybe say Jordan Mailata, right? We can say maybe Landon Dickerson if he can keep his health good, right? Fingers crossed. But outside of that, Devontae Smith, who's really like the cornerstones of this. So maybe Who cares? Maybe in 3 years or 4 years we'll be so flushed with cash because we don't really have people that we need that we can pay all these guys. What's going on, Dirty Sith? You're getting Julio mainly as a locker room vet for Devontae. To have him as your wide receiver 3 is a steal. Sirianni takes care of his vets to avoid injury. Yeah, I think that he would be. I think he would be a big help. I think he would be a big help to this whole wide receiver room, not just the Devontae, but Quez. You know, if we do go ahead and draft a guy, but it all depends on his contract. It really does. Big Moose says Brooklyn Nets suck. Go Birds. They do. Brooklyn Nets are ugly, man. Garrett Wilson, dude, I missed out. Yeah, he's good, man. I just like his attitude too. I think him and Chris Olave are very, very similar, but I just love his attitude. At safety, who do you like that fits the scheme in this coming draft or free agency? In free agency, the only name I'm really looking at right now, what's Holmes' name from the Steelers? Terrell Edmonds, I think his name is. He's like 25. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be the next coming of anything, but he screams like a Malcolm Jenkins type situation to me just because he's 25. He's been a starter for most of his career, if I'm not mistaken. He has a lot of starting, experience in the NFL. And I just feel like he's going to be very cheap. He's going to be very cheap from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading. I would love Terrell Edmonds in free agency. Other than that, there's really nobody I want to go spend money on. In this draft, I like Jalen Petrie a lot. I like Jaquan Brisker a lot. I like Kirby Joseph. I'm trying to think of who's realistic. Like, those 3 guys are probably guys that will probably be around when we... there's a couple later in the draft as well. I like Marquise Bell. Somebody was telling me about Marquise Bell that they, knew him or something, but he's actually really good. I was watching his, and he's going to be probably a later round pick, so I would not be mad at that. What's going on, Easy Money? Lurie said he will always regret the day he didn't draft Russell Wilson. Yeah, he did say that. That is very true. Who would I trade for DK or AJ Brown? Who do you want? Realistically, who do you want? I really don't have no outside of. I think the question would be better formed of who you wouldn't trade, because that list is probably a lot shorter. I wouldn't trade obviously Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't trade Quez or Devontae. I wouldn't trade Jordan or Landon. And that's about it. That's really about it. Otherwise, you can probably talk me into trading anybody else. I mean, obviously, like a Darius Slay, I wouldn't want to trade, but if it took money off our books and that's why we had to do it, I can understand I wouldn't want to do that, not even close to want to do that. But you know what I'm saying? You can talk to me about a lot of these players, and that's no disrespect to nobody. To be real, that's no disrespect to anybody on this team. I love my Eagles. I got support. I got nothing but support for everybody in that Eagles green or Kelly green next year. You know what I'm saying? But either way, look, man, we are not what we are going to be, right? This team is not where they are going. This team is where they are. We have places we need to go. So we're still on that journey of trying to figure out who we are. My boy Joe, what's going on, Easy Money, my guy? I keep catching you on your campaign to try and get everybody to pick Matt Corral, so I respect it. Love the analogy, Joe. McDuffie just too small for me, man. I respect that. Wide receivers are getting bigger, faster, and lanky. Need longer dudes. No cornerbacks under 6 feet, please, Howie. Nah, yeah, I agree. And look, you're going to find, Trent McDuffie's 5'11", right? But he's just short. He's his arms are, his wings, I can't do it because I have the camera zoomed in. But you understand what I'm trying to say. His wingspan is not, he has to be locked on guys. And you can't bet on that. With a Sauce Gardner, even if sometimes he gets beat, he has the length that he can kind of make up for it sometimes, right? So, I don't know, man. It gets me nervous. I'm not saying that Trent McDuffie's going to be trash. I'm not saying Trent McDuffie can't be in the NFL. He can't be a CB1 somewhere. I just get nervous when you talk about my Eagles and bringing him here. On the D-line, I agree. We just need a dude that can get consistent pressure on both the quarterback and run game. Facts. What's going on, Philly Eagles Nation? What's going on? We honestly need to draft hybrids at each position of need. Yeah. I mean, we need somebody that can do a little bit of everything, especially at that defensive line. We've seen it, right? we've seen this defensive line kind of migrate towards players that can do what Brandon Graham did in 2017 when he moved inside and was causing all type of havoc. So, first time here. Well, welcome. Do you have a wrench, Malcolm? Shout out to you for the $2 super chat. I'm gonna get to that right now. Give you guys some wrenches real quick. Yeah, I like to see nothing but wrenches in my chat. If you here, we giving you a mod. Nothing but love. Let me get to this super chat real quick. Shout out to my guy Malcolm Fripp with the $2 super chat. He said, "Do you think Howie will mess this draft up?" I think it's gonna be very hard to. I think it's gonna be very, very hard to mess this draft up. To be honest, like there's so many good players, especially where we need it to be. So like the only way I could see him messing this draft up is by trying to be who Howie is and trying to be too smart, right? Like Howie tries to, I don't know, he tries to go get a quarterback. I don't know. It's really hard for me even to come up with a scenario. He'd have to like legitimately reach almost every round and every pick for him to really mess this up. I really truly believe that it's that deep, that I don't think it's many guys that are atop the draft board in the top 100 that are terrible. I just don't. I think that there's a lot of talent where we need it. So he would have to just reach. He would have to go with the Marcus Smith type pick, right? You remember when the Eagles picked up Marcus Smith and everybody was like, oh, who the heck is that? That's like the only way I could see him really messing it up. A dark horse wide receiver. What's his name? Isn't it like Pascal or something like that? Am I thinking of the right dude? What tight end are you looking at? Because we can't count on anybody outside Dallas Goedert. Well, look, news that did just come out, Malcolm. I'm glad that you brought that up because I actually forgot. Eric Ebron is apparently, I don't know what's going on. They said that he's not going back to the Colts. That would be an interesting name to see for the Philadelphia Eagles. I would not be the most upset at that. Shout out to everybody in here, man. We got 32 people in here. Let me check how many likes still we got. We got 33 people in here and only 18 likes. If y'all could take a second from me and just hit that like button, I would appreciate that. If you guys are new to the family like my guy Philly Eagles Nation said he is, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, man. We do this as much as possible. What's going on, Show Nuff? I gotta ask my girl if she's ever seen that movie. No, which one, DK or AJ, would you trade for? Oh, I would trade for DK. I would trade for DK, and it's just because of that size. AJ has the speed, but I would love a proven all-around wide receiver on the other side of Devontae Smith that has size, speed, and just, as a dog. You know what I'm saying? I would love to have had Alshon Jeffrey in his prime, right? And I'm not saying that DK Metcalf is that. I think he might be better, to be honest. But, that's what I want. I'm chilling, Show Enough. I'm chilling. You know how we get down. We need to draft Sauce and get DK. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at that, Quezzy the Great. I would not be mad at that. Did somebody just at Bad Dog Sports? Is Bad Dog Sports in here? Sauce Gardner reminds me of Trayvon Diggs a lot. Think he has a great NFL career. I like that. I'm with Kyer Elam. I love Kyer Elam. Straight up, he's perfect for our position, less defense. I love Kyer Elam. I've said this a lot. I said it, at the beginning of this show. I don't know if it was this one or the one that got cut off. I think we should draft Stingley or Elam, then get us either a receiver like a Drake London or Alec Pierce. Wouldn't be mad at that either. I would not be mad at that. I think he will be better than Diggs. So I like Sauce. Sauce is one of those guys that he has a nice balance of both. He has the length, he has the speed, right? But at the same time, he's a lockdown. He has the mechanics and the footwork to be able to stick with a lot of wide receivers. The only thing that kind of throws me, and this has nothing to do with the actual game of football, so I try not to say this too much, but this whole Cincinnati coming out of nowhere is really like throwing me off. It's really weird to be saying this many players from Cincinnati. So, Bad Dog Sports, what does it mean when someone says a QB is gun shy? I'm a Washington fan. People often say Wentz is gun shy. Is this true? Where's Bad Dog Sports? Is Bad Dog? Why did you at Bad Dog Sports? I'm confused. But yeah, Wentz is definitely not gun shy. Wentz is the actual opposite of gun shy. Eagles are finishing third in the East. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Washington fans be crazy. Salute, bro. What's going on, Eagles Slayer? What's going on, Texas Eagles? Yes, sir. Run them likes up. Run them likes up. We got 35 people in here still. The Commanders are finishing 12-5. Oh, my man's drunk early. My man's got drunk early. Okay, what I missed? We just chilling cheesesteak, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Share it wherever you can. Share it to your family. Share it to your family's family. Sorry, I thought I was in Bad Dog. Well, tell Bad Dog I said what up. I had a brain fart. I thought I was in a Bad Dog stream. Wandale Robinson. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Hey, Joe, I'm late, but here. What's going on, Nina? Appreciate you. What you think about Garrett Wilson? I love Garrett Wilson. I really do. I like Garrett Wilson a lot. I've said it from, but I like Garrett Wilson because I do think that he's a very similar wide receiver to Chris Olave, and that's saying more about Chris Olave because I think people were kind of sleeping on how good Olave was, but I just like Garrett Wilson's attitude. Like, I feel like he's just one of those dudes that's just going to be like, he going to look at you after you know what I'm saying? I feel like he's one of those dudes that's going to pull a Iverson and walk over the defender when he gets a nice little play over you. Come on, Washington. Y'all ain't seen Ish since forever. Facts. Now Washington fans believe in cars. Let them have fun. Now they get to have the argument if he's better than Dak, right? That used to be our whole fight every other day, which was annoying. What's going on, Big Mike Bird gang? That's my only concern with Wentz. He seems skittish in the pocket at times. He's not skittish. He just is always looking for the big play. That's the one thing. He's always looking for the big play. If you're a Washington fan, shout out to my guys over there at Full Press Coverage. They do some great stuff, so definitely go check them out. I've been on their channel a couple of times, so they do some great stuff. The Black Line says put a bando on the Eagles winning the NFC East next year. All right, let's see. Let's go, baby. I feel you. I agree. I think this is up. I think it's ours to lose right now. The Dallas Cowboys are slowly deteriorating, and if you look at the history of the NFC East, right? And the NFC East, it has always changed. It's always a different winner almost every year. So I don't see why that would change this year. Carson Wentz is better than Jalen Hurts. That's cute. Trade 19 for a mid-second round and a first round next year. There's a lot of talent. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at that at all, especially depending on what team it is. We won the division 2 years ago. Exactly. It's just kind of weird how the NFC works out. Everybody wins. Everybody gets some except for the Giants. The Giants win twice every 10 years. Washington Stadium, not even safe. Big facts. We let y'all win 2 years ago. That's the thing. Washington legitimately only wins when every other team is just demolished. We had so many injuries. The Cowboys had so many injuries, and then they go on this miraculous 10-game win streak to get to the playoffs. Garbaggio. Our defense will frustrate QBs. Oh yeah, I ain't mad at that. We whooped you week 1. That was week 1. That was a long time ago. Facts, but that don't mean Washington will be better than the Eagles. Got that bum franchise out of here. Send it to Virginia. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yo, they're still talking. Isn't Dan Snyder under some more scrutiny? Isn't he lying about how much money he made? Can we talk about this? Since we have a Washington fan in here, Commanders, right? We are Commanders. Bump it up, bump up. Do you rock with that chant? Because that's a terrible chant, dog. I'm sorry, but either way, I need to ask, what's going on with your man's Dan Snyder? What's going on with your man's Dan Snyder? Because it seems like he's lying to the NFL. And shout out to the NFL that's when they start to take action, right? Dan Snyder, the Cowboys, they all have all these, accusations from cheerleaders and all this weird, extra stuff that seems hella illegal. But once you start lying about how many tickets you sell, we gonna make sure something happens. Let me not go too deep. On that. I'd rather be a Giants fan. I'd rather just not watch football than be a Washington Commanders fan and have to say that chant. 24 set, you have way too much confidence in your team. I'm not sold on Wentz, but we have a great team, and Riverbrook Ron is great. I like Terry McLaurin, and rumors are there's a lot around Washington right now. Your owner's a piece of garbage, and then Terry McLaurin apparently people are eyeing his situation because they're not sure if you guys are going to be able to keep him there long term. So if Terry McLaurin wants to come on over to a real team, you know what I'm saying? If he wants to come on over to Philly, let him know. Let him know I got an interview waiting for him. Romeo says, do you believe we should sign the Honey Badger and possibly draft one in the second round? If we signed the Honey Badger, yeah, I think I wouldn't be against still doing it if you get somebody like a Petrie or, you know, maybe a Jaquan Brisker falls to you. There's a couple other guys in there. I'm just kind of blanking on them. But even later in the rounds, you know, there's a Brian Cook from Cincinnati. There's a couple guys there, you know, Smoke Monday. I know you guys love that name. There's a couple guys there, Leon O'Neal. There's a lot of safeties in this draft that I think, depending on where you get them, they could fit what you're trying to look for. But if you get a Honey Badger, it takes a little bit of the pressure off to do that. Maybe a Verone McKinley from Oregon. There's some guys I would look at. Even if you did or you didn't get him, I think that safety's somewhere you want to look at. The Jets are better than the Washington. No cap. Wow, that's tough. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't want to be disrespectful that much. Washington Thieves. They withheld the ticket money from the opposing teams. Dan Snyder is a straight crook and degenerate. Yeah, what's going on? Eagles has landed. Yeah, that's crazy. That's. I mean, he's doing too much. How is he still owning the team? It would be funny though if they took your first round pick. That would be hilarious, because I don't see them like making him sell the team. They're probably just gonna take y'all cap and they're gonna take some of y'all draft picks. I'ma die laughing if they take y'all first round pick. I am gonna die laughing, and this is gonna hurt y'all argument against Terry McLaurin. Y'all gonna have to throw him a massive bag to keep him out there. A command to have Bears. They can't command any. They can't even command duct tape to stick their stadium together. I feel very confident for what? Yeah, I don't know why. Commander Carson reporting for duty. I hope they. What's going on, Gillette? What's going on, Gillette? Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I just don't understand what the heck's going out there in Washington, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 40 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. He said, you don't even believe in Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't say I don't believe in him. I wouldn't say I don't believe in him. I would say that I obviously know he has things he got to work on. I think that I think it's easy to say that. I think it's fair to say that. Why sit here and lie about, you know, his inequities and things that he doesn't do well? That's the only way he's going to get better. That's how Philly fans are, right? Washington, y'all just kind of go with the flow. Like, whatever happens, they gave us a terrible name. Oh, it's whatever. Let's just go with the flow. Oh, our stadium's falling apart. It's made of Legos. Oh, whatever. We'll just... Like, you guys just go with things. Philly, we are fans that make things happen. We you know what I'm saying? We go against the current. We try to make sure we're a winning team. You know, and winning means that you win more than 8 games. Y'all might not know that, so I just make sure. What's going on, True Savage? Chilling, man. But look, there's a lot of wide receivers that are going to be available. So I want to kind of bring this back together. The trades on the horizon, there should be trades on the horizon, in my opinion. If it's DK, if it's AJ Brown, God, please don't let it be N'Keal Harry. But I'm sure that there's a lot of other wide receivers out there that would be willing to listen. And it feels like the NFL is starting to shift more towards players having that strength, right? We saw it with the NBA. The NBA kind of became more of a players' league. Maybe that's happening with it. Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I keep on thinking about Dan Snyder. Brandon Cooks probably doesn't want to see that midnight green anytime soon. Brandon Cooks is another guy that I know you're saying that you don't think he wants to come here, but that's another guy we could start, you know, sniffing and seeing. I know we've wanted him for a while. It's been a couple years that we keep on saying that we wanted to go after him. So that's a name that we could possibly grab. Jarvin Driftwood says, yeah, Hurts will even say he needs to work on stuff, which is why I like him more than Carson. Exactly. Carson's just going to cry at interviews or whatever he does. I don't know what he does anymore. What's going on, Eagles Flair? Yeah, Eagles, they delusional. They delusional, man. They sounded like Cowboys fans. I wish the Eagles said we will have an open competition at QB, give Minshew a real shot. You know, you might get nobody banned him, man. You know, you might get people mad with that statement. Now you can't say that about Hurts, but I agree. I really do agree. I think that, look, Jalen Hurts had a good year, and do I believe that he still deserves the keys to the castle or the keys to the Carr for another year. Yes, I do think that he deserves that, but I don't think he deserves it without a shadow of a doubt. If you start seeing some things in Gardner Minshew, or if you do draft somebody that you're like, wow, I can't believe he dropped to us, I think that you have to be open to that as an organization, and I think that they are. Because we obviously were in on Deshaun Watson, right? We were in on a couple of these quarterback talks. So we want to upgrade. I don't want to say we're not happy with what we have, but I think that we're down to upgrade. I don't think that it's out of the question that we would definitely give up some picks and get better at the QB position. Unspoken, you almost got me hyped. But he said, we're coming up, the Badger. I would love if Honey Badger comes up here. Yep, Epps and Badger, Harris as our hybrid. I'm still surprised that they re-signed Harris, but they did. So it is what it is. I guess I can't be too bad. Who would you rather have, Honey Badger or Gilmore? That's a good question, but probably Honey Badger. We need a safety. I mean, the cornerback's important as well, but I think even if we bring a Steven Nelson back, I think that's fine. So why do you think Wentz has regressed since his second season? I think it's a number of things. I really do. I think it's a number of things. I think it was turmoil. Well, I think the main thing was the injury. I think the injury was way more serious than a lot of people gave it credit for. Because this year I felt like he played very well. But he kept on getting injured in Philly. We did not have the greatest of offensive lines because they just couldn't stay healthy. We did have a good offensive line. They just couldn't stay healthy. And then you add to that all the drama surrounding it. He didn't like that Eagles fans were calling him out. Like, it was just a whole bunch of stuff. But I think it was mainly the injury. You say Gilmore for sure, Romeo? You guys will be drafting Kenny Pickett? I doubt it. Maybe, though. I doubt that we will, though. They rushed him back after his knee injury. I agree, Cheesesteak. Tyler Lockett. If we get, I wouldn't be mad at a Tyler Lockett either. I would not be mad at a Tyler Lockett either. Third, second round, maybe. What you think? For what? For who? I got to remember what you said. Are you saying for Minshew? Malcolm says, I hate the Hurts slander. They said the same about McNabb, and look what happened. Just relax and allow him to develop. He's still young. Look, first of all, I don't think anybody's slandered Hurts yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it'll get there at some point. But there was a big difference between who Hurts is and who Donovan McNabb was. I mean, there was a big, big difference. There was a big, big difference. But look, we are giving Hurts time. He's not off this team, right? They didn't just cut him. They didn't just give up on him. I think he's gotten time. I think people are hyping up this thought process that the Eagles are so impatient on him. He's still here. Like, you know, I can see if he left and we're saying this, but he's still here. He's still the guy. Like, they've continuously said that he's the guy. I understand wanting other Eagles fans to agree with you. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Like, it just is what it is. Carson is butt. That's why he ended up in Washington. You're trying to make a case for that dude. He's trash. I had the nerve to go after Russ. LOL, no one wants to play in Washington. Y'all crazy. McNabb is way better than Hurts. He is. I mean, he is. For Tyler, if we could get him for a second or a third, I would be cool with that. I would love to get him for a third. I would love to get him for like a fourth and a fifth because we got like 2 3/5. So let's give him a fourth, a fifth, and Jalen Reagor. Shoot, I'll give you matter of fact, we'll make it a third and a fifth if you take Jalen Reagor. How about that? And we'll get you a water ice. You know what I'm saying? We'll hook you up. We'll hook you all the way up. He has his issues, but he's still the best quarterback in the division. My man, you got to stop drinking so early. I mean, I guess it is 5 o'clock somewhere, right? McNabb is way better than Hurts. No, he's not. Carson, Tyrod, and Hurts is better. You're shit out. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't just kind of rock with Taylor Heineke. I don't think you took that much of a leap. The one thing I will say that Carson Wentz gives you that none of your quarterbacks in like the last decade have given you is he gives you that rocket of an arm. He's not afraid to get it down the field. I think that Terry McLaurin is going to love having that. So that will help you. But there's a lot that comes with Carson Wentz on the other end of it too. So I saw McNabb play in person. He had a cannon. Hurts' arm's much weaker. Tyrann Mathieu might be playing. Yeah, I mean, I would love to get Tyrann Mathieu, Ryan. I would love to get him. Believe what you want. Carson regressed after 2017 and been traded since. You goofy. McNabb was way better than Hurts. They didn't boo McNabb himself. They wanted Ricky Williams. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people get mixed up. They think that we just hated. I mean, there were some people that just didn't think Donovan McNabb was going to be that good. He did come from a smaller school, you know what I'm saying? I think Syracuse, right? He came from like Syracuse or some stuff like that. It wasn't the biggest football school, but I mean, look what happened. Just to compare the two is just nonsensical to me because it's just such a different. Yeah, Jalen Hurts wasn't drafted to be our starting quarterback, right? He was drafted to be a backup, a change of pace type of guy. We're giving him an opportunity that I don't even think he realistically thought he was going to get when he came to the Eagles. I think that our plan was to sit him behind Carson for at least 2 years and do these kind of weird gadget plays. And that didn't work out. We're obviously where we are. But you got to keep that in mind that that's what the franchise had in mind for Jalen Hurts when we first got him. So, I don't know. I think people are getting surprised over stuff we already knew. I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts. I hope that he gets better. If he can start throwing better, if he can start reading the field better, if he can start getting that, anticipation into his throws, I think that we have a heck of a player. And I think that's really hard to deny. That's hard to argue. We have a really good player if he can start doing what he needs to do. McNabb also threw ducks 10 yards out. Everyone has their flaws. Yeah, they definitely do. But McNabb was just totally different. McNabb played with some of the, and it's no offense, I'm not trying to hate on him, man. Todd Pinkston follows me on Twitter, so I hope you don't take this personally. But we did not have a great wide receiving core when, we had Pinkston, Freddie Mitchell, who do we have? We had Thrash, or what was it? We had so many weird. We did not have a good wide receiving core for McNabb for like 90% of his playing career. So it's just totally different in my opinion. We had Freddie Mitchell. Freddie Mitchell was the man though. I used to like when he would get up and just, I got a 5-yard catch. Like he used to be hyped for nothing. McNabb was actually underrated. I like that. I'll take that. I love how Eagles fans pretend they didn't love Wentz. I'm not saying you, but most content creators loved him. Oh, I loved Carson Wentz. I loved Carson. I have his jersey. I have a T-shirt jersey. I think I have 2 of his jerseys. I loved Carson Wentz. I'm not gonna sit here and deny that, but you know what I'm saying? Do you still love your ex? Do you still call your ex? Do you still say, hey, I wish? I mean, maybe you should as an adult. You should wish your ex is the best. But I guess I'm not an adult. I'm not. No, I don't like Wentz anymore. I used to love him, and I do see the talent in him, but I do see everything else more clearly now, right? I do see the mental aspect of it, which they were saying since college. It wasn't like it just came up. I saw the hero ball mentality that they were saying before the draft. I saw a lot of the things that, as an Eagles fan, we blinded ourselves to, and now you're blinding yourself to because he's part of your team, and that's fine. It's part of football, right? That's part of football. But I'm going to tell you what I see now. McNabb was like, Carson cannot accept competition nor constructive criticism. Exactly. There's a lot of things that happened off the field and on the field with Carson Wentz that just soured us on him. And if you still are an Eagles fan that likes Carson Wentz, that's fine. I really, it's not like we're going to fight over Carson Wentz. Like, if I see somebody in a Carson Wentz jersey, I'm not going to fight him. I really don't care. It's just he's not invited to the barbecue no more, And if he comes to the barbecue, he ain't getting no food, man. And I'm going to ask who invited him. But cheesesteak, only wide receiver we had with McNabb was T.O. That was it. That was legitimately it. And then towards the end of his career, obviously, he got to play with Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin for a little while, and I'm sure that was fun. We had a couple of good tight ends. Obviously, we had Brent Selleck for most of his career. We had a great offensive line for most of his career, great defense for most of his career, but if we just always missed that wide receiver because we didn't want to go big. And then that one year, we go big on a guy, obviously Terrell Owens. We get to the Super Bowl, and Terrell Owens damn near breaks the Super Bowl record on one good leg. So it's like, that's I always say this, and I'm probably wrong about this, but to me, that was the beginning of the end for Andy Reid. That just really was. What's going on, iShine? He says, sup, JC. I see us drafting a cornerback and a defensive tackle first round, trading the other first for a first next year and a third this year. With Steelers, second and third, we got a wide receiver. We got a wide receiver, edge, and a linebacker fourth. A running back. This is what I see. I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, we just got to take the best available player every time. And I know that sounds cliche because it is. But if that's not what we're doing, we're failing. We're failing our team. We have to go best player available. We do not have anything certified. Nothing's, settled. Nothing. There's not one position on this team right now outside of maybe left tackle, right guard, maybe. Left guard, depending on what you want to do with Landon Dickerson, if you want to move him to center. There's maybe 3 or 4 guys on this team that I can say, oh, they're going to be here for 10 years. We don't have anybody. So, we have to just get the best players. Oh, yeah, I forgot about them, too. Sproles should have beat him up and knocked some sense into him. Somebody should have. I know that Malcolm Jenkins, shout out to Chris McPherson, when he was on here, I think he said it when we were on air. I can't remember, but he was telling me when I interviewed him how Malcolm Jenkins, put down a chair when DeMarco Murray was acting like he was tired and was like, if you need to sit down. He put a chair down in the end zone and was like, if you need to sit down, you can. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm needed to do that to Carson. You feeling some type, bro? Let us know, man. Let us know, because we ain't got time for it. He said, once with a kick, Sproles, but you wildin', bro. Tony, I'm going to throw you a wrench, though. I like that. You staying respectful. I like that. Romeo, let me throw you a wrench. Make sure everybody good with the wrenches before we get out of here. Big Mike got to get a wrench. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We still got 30 people in this building. And shout out to the sponsor for today's show, BetUS.com. I'm about to drop the link in the chat. I had it all set up. I had it all set up in the last one, but then my internet wants to mess up. But either way, shout out to BetUS.com. They are offering 125% deposit matching up to $2,500. So use code JOIN125, and the link that I have provided in the chat, and get your bet on. Put down $1. You're gonna get an extra 125 like that. I had to keep the math easy for myself. But how can you pass that? How do you pass that? And when you win some money, be sure to holler at me, buy me a beer at the game or something. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. But shout out to everybody that tuned in. I appreciate it. I respect y'all for finding this one through the loopholes that you had to go through. But we will be back probably tomorrow. We'll probably be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow. I have Lord Brunson on tomorrow. We're going to be doing the draft like everybody keeps asking us to do. So, yeah, shout out to Lord Brunson. Tomorrow, I think at 6:30 we're doing it. I don't know. Y'all will find out when y'all find out. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we out here. Peace.
Eagles fans everywhere. This is for you.
Fly Eagles Fly. On the team. Touchdown. Time to get